Hey guys, Block Builder here, and welcome to another Pokezord review. Here we have H-03, the Hoenn starters from Generation 3. Anyway, let's take a closer look at them individually. First off here, we're going to be taking a look at Sceptile. I decided to give him a massive drill hand, and that not hand, well, now it's spoiled, whatever. I decided to give him a massive drill tail for combination, and it just looks cool for both modes anyway, and that can spin. It's on a ball joint, and he's got a little bit of movement right here and up here in his waist. His arms can go up and down and rotate, and his head's on a ball joint and can go up and down and stuff, and his mouth can open. And his feet are on ball joints and things. And there's not much else to this little guy. He's about the smallest of the group. And yeah, he's pretty cool. So, on to the next one. So next up, here we have Blaziken. He's the tallest compared to the others. And yeah, he's just kind of like this big fighting guy. His legs are ball jointed and his knees can bend. You can have these this way if you want, which is actually how they're supposed to be. I just messed it up. It makes his legs look a bit more interesting, but it doesn't really matter which way you have him. But it does matter if you want his knees to bend like this. And if you want his legs to kick more forward, you got to rotate the ball joint, and then you can do stuff like that. So you can choose to have his legs like this if you want. Anyway, I think he looks pretty cool. He's got some junk on his back, which isn't the best, but it's alright. Here are his like hair things. Or feathers, I guess. His head can go forward and is on a ball joint. His shoulders are on ball joints. He's got an elbow and a rotation, and his two little fingers can move. His toes can all move. And they can also rotate on T-joints, just like his hands can. Obviously, he's missing thumbs, but he's a robot. That's okay. The waist is very floppy for transformation. But anyway, let's move on to Swampert. So next up here is Swampert, this big frog boy. He can't really do the thing where he stands up on two legs like he normally does. I do like him four-legged, though. You can kind of do it, I guess. It's not very convincing. You can do this. Or you can de-transform his legs, flip him around, fold the feet down, and then do something silly like this. But obviously, I just broke him. But I do like the look of this guy. He's probably my favorite out of the three of them. If he was fully colored, he'd look better. If I stopped ripping his feet off, he'd be better. His head on a ball joint. It's blocked by this piece, though, which is fine. And his little mouth can open and close. You can also move his like horn things. And his legs are also on ball joints. Well, his arms, I guess. And a ratchet at the elbow. And his little toes can move in and out. His back legs are less articulated, but they are ball jointed up here. And this hinge is here with a ball joint right here as well. And his little like tail fin can move up and down like that. But let's move on to the best part about these figures, and let's combine them. So to start off the combination, we will be starting off with Swampert, since he forms most of the body. And by most of the body, I guess I just mean the legs. So you're going to rotate this section out like this. Spin these around to the opposite side. Go ahead and lift up this entire section and leave that up there. And then get these straightened out. I realize an issue with the upgrade I did. We're going to have to take off these parts. That's okay. That's not parts forming. I'm never putting them back on again. I'll probably just put like a 1x2 tile there or something. Anyway, you spin around to this side. And you rotate up the waist area like so. You're going to take his toes, fold these ones to the sides and these ones to the front. Fold those down and leave the other ones forward. These are going to form his arm. His arms are going to form like waist panels like this. Like so. Just kind of get him like that. Go ahead and turn his head down a little bit. Kind of reminds me of that one Megazord with the frog that turns into the legs. And then we will rotate this section at the top around. And we will come and get to the rest of that in combine mode. So to get Blaziken into combine mode, you're going to take him and put his arms forward. Rotate them to the back. And then make sure you can spin his elbows. And you're just going to bend those like this. And rotate the fists forward like so. Do the same thing on the other side. And rotate these up like this. Next, you're going to grab his head, and that'll fold down. And you kind of want to fold it down some more to put it on to his chest. And then you notice this wiggly bit. Well, you're going to flip this part out of the way, rotate this whole section, slide this to the middle, flip it over, and then this will plug onto that jumper plate in the middle right there to secure everything. Then you have him like this. You're going to fold this section to the side like that. Take this, rotate it down, swing this down, fold the legs out to the sides, rotate them down together like this. These are going to then rotate around this way and swing down. You're going to plug his legs together after rotating the feet. So those plug together. This section collapses up and this collapses down. Rotate this way. And there we have one arm of combined mode all done. And the torso. The torso is not done actually. You need to fold these sections back and rotate the fists to fill in the hinge gaps in here. And then rotate the hair pieces down and angle them back and stuff and just kind of flatten the whole head. And we'll mess with all this stuff later. But let's move on to Sceptile's part of the combination. So to transform Sceptile into his arm mode, take his tail, rotate it straight down. Obviously that's going to become the drill arm of the mech. Rotate him around this way. Take his head and spin it around without breaking it off like it just did. And then that's just going to fold up against this section, and this swings down after rotating his arms up. And that'll collapse right there. Take his legs. These will spin around and fold over like this, forming little shoulder pads. And you can go ahead and rotate those in this direction. And then you take his arms and just kind of swing them over top like that. And there's Sceptile in arm mode, except for you actually want to rotate this sideways because he has a better elbow that way. So to combine these three, you take this little peg on Blaziken, and that'll plug into this pinhole on the bottom, on the top of Swampert. Then you take the 4 studs on this connector on Blaziken. That'll connect on Sceptile. Come to the back here, and there's a little tab on the back of Blaziken, and that will allow this back section to connect right here. Take his head up. Yes, this is the combined mode head. I figured I could use the back of Swampert's tail since that made sense. And then you rotate that forward. And then what I like to do is spin this little part around. Finally, here we have H-03. So here we have H-03 in their combined mecha mode, which I think is probably my favorite of the ones I've made so far. His proportions are just really cool. I just love the big drill arm. And I actually like his head quite a bit. And the white and stuff all matches pretty well to me. He can't really do that much besides articulation, which I'll get into now. He's got a big doofy belly, head, but we ignore that. His head is on a ball joint up here. Shoulders on a ball joint. This area is on a ball joint. Technically these are on ball joints, but not like it's 2 doubled up, so it can't work. And he's got like a claw. I kind of wish it was more like a hand. That's how I imagine it, but it's kind of not easy to make 2 feet turn into 1 hand. This arm, I think I already said, but this is on a ball joint. It's a little weird mounted, but you can move it. Pretty cool. And then this elbow is on a ball joint as well. No waist articulation because it all needs to tab together. His hips are on ball joints. You can move those hip skirts out of the way so you can kick his legs forward. And they bend at ball joints at the knee, and they're ball jointed at the feet. And yeah, there's not much else to say about this guy besides breaking him in half at the waist. So yeah, there's not much else to say about this guy except for he's just a big giant robot. And yeah, anyway, hope you have a great day. Block Builder, breaking out.